everybody and welcome to Jeff's Baking Blog. Today I'm going to be making egg and bacon pie. Now this is a recipe from Delia Smith's cookery course, television programs that she made in the 70s and early 80s, and she published them in 3 books and then in a single omnibus edition. And it's actually quite a simple recipe. It varies from many egg and bacon pie recipes in that there are hard-boiled eggs within the pie. Most of the other ones I've seen make the pastry case and then put raw eggs in and then the bacon. This has hard-boiled eggs and then just a little bit of raw egg with milk. And it's, as I say, it's quite simple to do. Takes a little bit of time, but then it's ideal served cold if you're going on a picnic or for lunch or something like that. And in the book she also says that you can make this in individual pies in a bun tin if you want to. But I'm doing it, although she says you need an 8-inch fluted tart tin, I don't have an 8-inch one of those, so I'm going to do it in an 8-inch sandwich tin, which has straight edges rather than fluted edges, and it doesn't have a removable base. So for that reason I've put some parchment paper in. I've greased it and put some parchment paper in to help me get the pie out, but that's 8 inches as well. So I'll go on to the ingredients, and for the pastry it's very simple. I have 175 grams, which is 1 cup, plus about 3 tablespoons of plain flour. I have a pinch of salt. I have 75 grams, 5 tablespoons and 1 teaspoon of lard, which is cold, just out of the fridge, and I've cubed it. You could use butter if you don't like to use lard. And I have some ice cold water, and how much of that I need we don't know yet. It depends on how the pastry comes together. So that's for the pastry. And then for the filling I have 3 large hard-boiled eggs, that would be extra large in the USA, which I have cut into reasonably small pieces. And then I have 6 rashers of streaky bacon, which would just be bacon in the USA, which weighed about 150 grams. And all I've done is I've just put that in a pan and fried it until some of the oil starts to leak out. Then I've dried it off. I didn't cook it until it went crispy. I've dried it off and chopped it again into quite small pieces. Then I have 1 more large egg, which would be extra large in the USA, and 150 millilitres, which is half a cup plus 2 tablespoons of milk. And then I'm going to use some salt and pepper to go into the filling as well. So we'll start off by making the pastry. And you can do this, and Delia recommends you do this by hand, but I'm going to do it in my little immersion blender. So what I'm going to do is to put my pinch of salt into the flour, and put the flour into the little processor bowl of my immersion blender. And then I'm going to put the lard in as well, and I'm simply going to pulse that briefly until the mixture resembles fine breadcrumbs. And that won't take long at all. If you did this by hand, you would simply rub it between your fingers, or cut it in with a knife. So that's good enough. like that, and I'm going to tip that into a bowl. And with that in the bowl like that, and there are still a few chunky pieces, but that's fine, it will help to make the pastry flaky. I'm actually going to add in some ice cold water, and I'm going to do this 1 tablespoon at a time. And then I'm going to mix it around until it starts to clump together. And as you can see, that's clumping together, and so far I've put 3 tablespoons in, and I'm going to give that a squeeze and see if it comes together. And I think that is coming together quite nicely. So I'm going to try and pull that into a dough now. And if I need any more moisture, I'll simply dip my fingers in the remaining ice cold water and then use my fingers to apply it to the dough. And that's good enough. So I actually dipped my fingers in twice as well. So that's the dough mixed, and it comes together quite easily. And I'm going to form that into a disc and chill it in the fridge for 30 minutes. Then it will be ready to roll out. So I'm going to put that into the fridge, wrapped in plastic wrap, or a plastic bag in my case, and I'm going to chill it for 30 minutes. And while it's chilling, I'm going to preheat my oven to 200 Celsius, that's 180 Celsius with a fan, 400 Fahrenheit. That will then be ready to take the pastry once we've rolled it out and filled it. So I'll be back in 30 minutes and we'll go on to the next step. I've let the pastry chill for 30 minutes and I've divided it into 2, and I'm going to roll out the first part of it now while my oven is preheating, as I mentioned earlier. So I've floured my work surface, and I want to roll this out so that it will cover the base and go up the sides of my 8-inch sandwich tin. So that's about good enough, and I'm going to roll it up and put it in, and then I will patch it if I need to. And that's good enough like that, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to fill it, and then I'm going to turn the ends over so that I can lay the second piece on the top. That's because I don't have the fluted tin. So I think that's good enough like that. So before I do anything else, I'm actually going to roll out my second piece of dough to about 8 inches in diameter. And that's just about perfect. So I'm just going to move that to one side for a moment. And I'm going to take the rolled one, and I'm going to sprinkle my bacon and egg into it. Like that. And I'm actually going to just put a little bit of salt on and a little bit of pepper, like that. And then I'm going to take my milk and my large egg, and I'm going to whisk that together. And I'm going to pour that into the tin. Like that. And then I'm going to fold my edges down. And the reason for that is so that I can lay my other piece of pastry on the top. Just like that. And I'm going to brush that with a little bit of milk, just to dampen it. Like that. And then I'm going to take the second piece of pastry and lay it on the top, and then press it down, And I'm going to make a hole in the middle. This is so that steam can come out. And I'm going to brush the top with milk. And with that, like that, I'm going to put it into the oven and I'm going to bake it for 10 minutes at 200 Celsius, 180 Celsius with a fan, 400 Fahrenheit. And then I'm going to reduce the heat to 180 Celsius, 160 Celsius with a fan, 350 Fahrenheit. And I'm going to bake it for a further 30 minutes. Then I'm going to take it out and let it cool down. And once it's cooled down, I will come back and show you the results. I baked the egg and bacon pie for 10 minutes at 200 Celsius. Then I turned the oven down to 180 Celsius, 350 Fahrenheit, as I said, and baked it for a further 30 minutes. Then I took it out of the oven and I allowed it to cool down for about 30 minutes in the tin. And then I took it out of the tin and it's cooled down completely now. So I have cut into it, and this is what it looks like. So it baked up quite nicely. The pastry is lovely and flaky, I can see that. And I can see the pieces of egg and the bacon inside. So I'll have a taste of it. It's very, very nice. Egg and bacon basically, with a slight saltiness from the bacon and a little bit of pepper that I put into it. Nice flaky pastry as well. So this is ideal for a cold lunch or a picnic, and the individual ones that I mentioned might be even better taken on a picnic. But I think take the whole of this cold or chilled and then cut into it at a picnic would be very, very good. So I hope you've enjoyed the recipe, and if you have, please give me the thumbs up below and click to subscribe to my YouTube channel. In the top right hand corner of the screen there will be an eye that you can click on, and that will take you to the recipe, and I'll put a link for it below the video. And then I will be back with another recipe in the very near future. So until then, happy baking.